Howdy folks, I'm Darren. Welcome to Cross Timbers Outside. Darren, what are you doing with this little Angler 8 boat? This little plastic, polypropylene, whatever you call that kind of plastic. What are you doing with that? When you've got that, you've got a Tracker Super Guide sitting there with 40 horse Mercury on it. What are you doing with that little thing? I'll explain. I've got this because of this. If you've been around our channel very long, you know how much I love crappie fishing and how much I love going camping. Can't do both. Yeah, I could fish from the bank. I get that when we go on camping trips. Most of your better places to fish are not going to be from the bank, or at least in an area where you can access it from the bank. Around lots of reservoirs and lakes, there's private property, and you just can't get sometimes to the better places to fish. When we're going camping, behind our GMC 2500 pickup, we pull our camper. I can't pull the camper and the Super Guide at the same time. The only way I can fish out of a boat and go while we're camping is if we took two pickups, both pulling a trailer. One pulling the camper, one the boat. That's just not feasible. And most campgrounds, you don't have much parking space anyway. So what do? You find a little boat that'll fit in the back of your pickup truck while you're pulling your camper. I don't know a whole lot about these things. This little boat was given to me free. I had already been looking at them. There's some videos out there of some crappie fishermen and things of that nature that use these little tiny boats, and they put little 2.5, 3 horsepower outboards behind them. Some of them just use a trolling motor, and they catch all kind of fish out of these things. Some big guys fish out of them. There's one channel I watch a lot, and this guy says he's about 250 pounds, and he fishes out of one, of course by himself. There's not two people in it, but he fishes out of one regularly and catches a ton of fish. So a friend of mine gave me this. It had been stood up against a storage shed outside for the last couple of years. It was so dirty, you couldn't even hardly tell what color it was. 409 and mean green and elbow grease and grease lightning got that thing clean to where it looks like a new one. Took it to the lake yesterday, didn't fish out of it. Took it to the lake just to sit it in the water to make sure that it floats good and it don't take on water in the hole. Proud to say, I set it in the water for a pretty good while. I just took a paddle and paddled around the boat launch area, came back to the ramp, got it up on the truck, shook it back and forth, no water in it, dry as a bone. So our next step is to rig this thing up with a trolling motor and buy me a little fish finder for it. I got to get a seat for it. It came with a seat. This is a Field and Stream model. It was sold in the Field and Stream stores back in the 2018-19 periods. I think that's the years that Field and Stream finally closed or were bought out by some other company, and those stores just ceased to exist. But this one came from the Field and Stream store. If you look at the Bass Pro Shops version, it's called a Pond Prowler. Dick's Sporting Goods sells one, it's called the Quest model. There's a company makes one called the Bass Raider. If you look at them, they're everyone basically the same, except maybe a different color is the only thing. So it probably made by the same company, just colors for different stores to separate theirs from the others. But it comes with a seat, and a seat frame and a seat, and it's missing out of this. And I got to pick up a seat frame. I've got a seat to put on the frame, and a trolling motor. Everybody tells me a 30-pound thrust trolling motor will push this thing around like nobody's business. You don't even need a big motor. Get it all outfitted so we can take it camping, fishing. Stay tuned to the channel when we start outfitting this little Angler 8 with fish finder and a anchor trolley and a trolling motor. I'll bring you along for all that. It's pre-wired for a trolling motor. So I'll bring you along on the channel for all that. This little tiny boat build. Thanks for being with us today. Stay tuned. We got more camping trips coming up very soon and more fishing. Pray God blesses you and your family. I pray y'all have a fantastic day. This little thing's light as a feather. I think the website says it weighs 100 pounds. Fits perfectly in the bed of my pickup truck.